we are dealing with Heartbreak Remedies. And from the song we heard, so he could not believe he was a fool again, because the person that exited never told him. So he was expecting to be told. One thing I've discovered is that at the inception of every relationship is attraction. At the inception of every relationship is attraction. Whether we are talking about professional relationship, we are talking about marital relationship, spiritual relationship, even domestic relationship. No matter the relationship, there is a force of attraction at the inception. And the attraction could be based on genuine love, it could be based on lust, it could even be based on certain skills or expertise noticed in another. You know, for you to be working with a particular establishment, there was something that attracted you to that organization. It could either be their policies in the area of improvement of life or improvement of knowledge of their staff members. It could be the pay package that attracted you, but there was something that attracted you to the organization you work in. If it's relationship, there was something that attracted you to the lady. There was something that attracted you to the gentleman. The physical appearance might have attracted you to the lady. The guy's pockets might have attracted you to the man. Anything. But there was something that attracted you to the other. Even at a domestic level, for you to have a customer in the market who you patronize regularly, definitely you believe that she's offering you value for the money spent. And that is why you keep going back there. So the value you get is the force of attraction. But attraction itself is not an achievement. Somebody good getting attracted to you is not an achievement. Sustaining that attraction is the work. Sustaining attraction is the achievement. That I've been able to keep this person running after me for this number of years, that is the achievement. Because anybody can show attraction and attention at the beginning. But how long are they willing to walk down the years with you? So since we said attraction is the magnetic factor in any relationship, then we can safely assume that if attraction is lost in any relationship, separation or heartbreak is inevitable. Once the magnetic force that pulls you together is no longer there, separation and heartbreak is inevitable. For someone to walk out of a relationship, for another person to walk out of a marriage, for some people to tender resignation letters at their places of work, it shows that they are no longer attracted to what that person has to offer or what that organization has to offer. Oftentimes, physical qualities in people sparks the initial interest. It sparks the initial attraction. But it is character and deliberately learned knowledge-based skill that sustain attraction. I'll repeat myself. Character and deliberately learned knowledge-based skill. And I will explain what I mean by a deliberately learned knowledge-based skill. You know, many times you hear people who have been heartbroken or disappointed or jilted, as the case might be, saying things like, he broke my heart after I did all this, she broke my heart after I did this, after I invested this time, this money, this affection, this attention. It is true, they made investments. But doing things for someone is not what keeps them. Doing things for someone the way they want it is what keeps them. There are two different things. Doing things for someone is not what keeps them. Doing things for someone the way they want it is what keeps them. Let's open the scriptures to the book of Romans chapter 10 verse 2. The Bible said, I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. So in many relationships, you see zeal, but the zeal is not according to knowledge. Listen to me. Knowledge precedes satisfaction. If you don't know someone, you can't satisfy the person, no matter how much you try. So before you start your zeal, settle down and study the person. When you study the person, you know their likes, you know their dislikes, and you avoid the dislikes and focus on the likes. That is when you can keep the person attracted to you. So it's not enough to say, I know how to cook. His best food is rice. If you know how to cook and his best food is rice and you know how to cook rice, but if you don't cook it in his way, you've wasted time and energy. I know some people that will tell you, I like akara with red oil, fried in red oil. So no matter what you put in the akara, if you fry it with vegetable oil, you've wasted your zeal because your zeal is not according to knowledge. So what prevents heartbreak? What is a remedy to heartbreak? The remedy to heartbreak is knowledge-based skill. You hold your character on one hand, then knowledge-based skill, the application of knowledge-based skill on the other hand. And before you jump into conclusion, because many people, when they hear gist of heartbreaks, they think the men are the devil. It is on both sides. As we hear cases of men killing their wives, recently we heard cases of women killing their husbands. In the process of answering the previous question, Stashola said something that caught my attention. And what she said was, before we start critiquing and criticizing the man that went to forge the death certificate of his woman, we might need to listen to the man first and hear what the man has to say. You know, I was listening to one message from Bishop Duncan Williams, and he was talking about an incident where Satan walked into church bodily. And they said everybody was, he didn't say it happened in his church. He was just talking. I didn't know. I can't say particularly the church where it happened. But I was saying Satan walked into church bodily and everybody was running. Through the window, through the door, through everywhere. And it only remained a man seated. He wasn't even bothered. And Satan had to walk to him that, why are you still on your seat? Don't you know me? Don't you know what I'm capable of? And the man replied, said, I've been married to your younger sister for the last 20 years. That there's nothing you want to do to me that the woman I married has not done. That's why I'm not running. That there's nothing you can do that the woman I married hasn't done already in our 20 years of marriage. And sincerely, that is the way some women are. So as much as men have their sides, women have their own sides too. It's unfortunate that we saw the write-up of the woman. We didn't get to quiz the man. That doesn't mean that I validated what the man did. Two wrongs doesn't make a right. But what I'm saying is that heartbreak can come on both sides. A man's heart can be broken. A woman's heart can also be broken. The remedy to heartbreak is to know the right thing to do and to do it. There was a woman in the scriptures that had what it takes to make strong men come to their knees. And I don't want us to view it as the laws or the things a woman has to apply to hold onto a man or to hold onto our marriage. I want us to see it as life principles that, if applied, either being a man or being a woman, can help to sustain the force of attraction in relationship, thereby reducing the incidence of heartbreak. Although this woman didn't apply her methods appropriately, in fact, the Bible made us understand that she used her skills to commit adultery. But the fact that she used her skills to commit adultery doesn't negate the fact that she had the skills. Our own business is to learn from her what the skills are and to rightfully deploy those skills to make our own relationships heartbreak proof. Let's open the scriptures to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 7. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 18 to 19. This is the woman talking. The woman said, "Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. For the good man," please, New KJV. "For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey." So this is the woman trying to use her skill to commit adultery. That's why I said she didn't use her skill for the right thing. But the fact that she didn't use her skill for the right thing doesn't mean the skills were wrong. It's just like money. Money is amoral. Money is not good. Money is not bad. Whether money will be good or bad will be dependent on who has the money. If a good man has the money will do good things. If a bad man has the money will do bad things. The same goes for skills. If a good person has good skills, good things will be achieved. If a criminal has skills. So, Proverbs 7:26. Proverbs 7:26. Just 26. "For she has cast down many wounded, and all who were slain by her were strong men." Not just any kind of man. What am I trying to bring out of this? Fine, she used her skills wrongly, but the Bible showed us how effective her skills were. That it wasn't riffraffs that she brought down. It wasn't non-entities. It wasn't nobodies. It was the cream a la cream. People of timber and caliber. So what do I want us to do today? I just want us to learn from our skills and deploy positively those skills in order to make our relationships and marriages heartbreak proof. The first thing I would say, if we will not be heartbroken, is that we must understand the law of time and place. We have to understand the law that governs time and place. Proverbs chapter 7 verse 8 to 9. Proverbs 7, 8 to 9. "Passing along the street near a corner, and he took the path of her house." 9. "In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night." If you would not be heartbroken, you must learn to manage the place and the time where you are seen. Listen to me and listen good. Sometimes there are things you would not eat but will smell in your mouth because of where you are seen at a particular time. For example, they can't be looking for microphones or wires and be asking somebody in the children's church, because they don't expect children to have access to something like that. They will ask a technical department member, or worst case, they will ask from choir department. So you will not expect to be seen around 10 o'clock on Allen Avenue Street and claim that you are a decent lady. You will not expect to be found on a Friday night at Fela's Shrine and claim you are a God-fearing man. The place and the time you are found matters. You are found matters. Why? Because The place and time you are found would determine the kind of person that will walk up to you, that will be attracted to you. And the place and time you are found will also determine who will be repulsed. No matter how good the person looks, being seen on an Allen Avenue junction at 10 o'clock, even a bachelor of 50 years old will not stop to think of marriage. They can only think of one night stand. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the person is bad. It just meant that the person doesn't know how to be in a good place at the right time. Some people would claim that it is the wrong guys, the club boys, the useless guys, the touts, that keep asking them out. Where do they find you? Because a tout in Fella Shrine will not come inside to ask a lady out in church. Where did they find you? It will be malady to pick a Samsung remote and be using it for an LG screen. For somebody to walk up to you, that means the person believes that in you is a chip that is in his own remote. So for the person to have walked up to you, if the person is a wrong person, that means you are definitely in the wrong location. And if you are in a wrong location, heartbreak is just around the corner. Because you will never get a good spirited gentleman or lady in a wrong location. And if you are in a relationship with a bad spirited gentleman or woman, heartbreak is just around the corner. The second point is the law of appearance. If you will not be heartbroken, you must understand the law of appearance. Proverbs 7:10, please. The Bible said, and there a woman met him with the attire of a harlot and a crafty art. I want us to note something here. The Bible did not say she was a harlot. She doesn't necessarily have to be a harlot, but the way she dressed made her look like one. Listen, my people, before people get to hear you, they see you first. And when they see you, any conclusion or deduction they made in their heart will determine whether they will hear what you are saying or what you are saying will enter through the left ear and move out through the right. You will be addressed the way you dress. Some men will say they went to this particular lady, the lady said no. They went to that particular lady, the lady said no, and things like that. Most times, many people dress like a no and are expecting to get a yes. Your appearance is a no, but you are expecting a yes. There is a way a man will dress that a lady will never take you serious, no matter how serious your intents are. You look like a joker, you look like a clown. There's a kind of appearance that will make the person size you up and say, me to you, you to the NEPA pole. Listen to me, we need to manage accurately our appearance in order to project the appropriate and intended perception. You need to manage your appearance in such a way that it projects the kind of perception you want. Many people think that nakedness is fashion. It is wearing clothes that is actually fashion, not nakedness. Because I discover from research that we look more beautiful in many cases wearing clothes than without clothes. And I'll prove it to you. If I have scar, you don't know. Because I'm wearing clothes. Flabby breast, you don't know. Because a bra is packing it. Big tummy, you don't know. Because there are enough tummy gadoos. Some people with tattoos, you don't know. Because it's probably not in an exposed part of their body. Some people with moles, you know what mole is? Some people with eczema. So many things that cloth is covering. So if you don't know how to use clothes to project and put your first or best foot forward, then you are doing yourself a disservice. Because there are so many things that after marriage, outside clothes will be seen. They will just be using water to swallow it like that. So take advantage of clothes and look good. All these net wears that they will not wear bra on, that they will claim that it has curved bra or whatever, and they will cut, and you know everything is slippers. You are doing yourself a disservice. Doing yourself a disservice. You've played ball and all the bodies looking like adire already because of scars and maps and everything. Then cover it and look good. Let the person fall in love with you so that eventually when you are married and they are seeing all the wounds and the patches, love would have covered a multitude of imperfections. If you don't look good, a good person will not approach you. And if a good person doesn't approach you, your heart is liable to being broken. The third point is the law of predictability. If you will not be heartbroken, then you have to understand and respect the law of predictability. What does it mean to be predictable? It means to always behave or for things to occur in the way expected. To behave or for things to occur in the way expected. To a certain degree, your partner should be able to tell or predict your movement or your routine or your daily schedule. At least to 60-65% degree, your partner should be able to tell where you will be at a particular time. That okay, she goes to work and closes at 5. She gets home latest by 7. So from 7, she's good, she's at home. Except on Thursdays when she will be at a midweek service in church. Last or first Friday of the month, she would have vigil in our church. Then Saturday, she's at home resting, fixing the house, doing laundry. Sunday, she goes to church. In the afternoon, she'll be at home. Or maybe, at least averagely, you should be predictable. If they have to call you on phone every time in order to meet you at home, heartbreak is looming. If your partner or your husband or your wife have to always call in order to meet you at home, there is no day they can surprise you and meet you. Heartbreak is looming. And I will tell you why. Open the scriptures to the book of Proverbs chapter 7 verse 11. The Bible said she was loud and rebellious. Her feet will not stay at home. Listen to me. What happens is when you are the type that your movement is unpredictable, because God didn't create man to abide alone. Anywhere you are, you will always be with a group of people. And the more the people you are around, the more the opinions you are subjected to. Opinions will influence you. And when you are influenced, the things that you know to be right or the things that you believe to be right, you start questioning it. So a time will come that the seed of their negative positions would have been so much sown into your life that you start rebelling. Rebellion and feet not staying at home will always go together. All the things you believe to be true that made the guy come into your life, all the things you believe to be true that made the lady stay, you start questioning it because of association. And once rebellion comes in, the other person checks out. Don't let your case be twinkle, twinkle, little star. I wonder what you are. Don't let them wonder what you are, where you are, who you are with. You know, the funny thing about it, which is real, is that the twinkle little star is in the sky and the person wondering is on earth. So if the person in your life will have to wonder where you are, we will have to separate. One will be in the sky and one will be on earth. The next point is the law of being abreast with environmental happenings. you don't want to experience heartbreak, then you need to know what is happening in your environment. You need to be social. Proverbs 7:12. The Bible said, at times she was outside, at times in the open square. Outside means you step out, you step beyond the four walls of your room. Open square means the market where transactions take place, where new arrivals land. The fact that you are spiritual doesn't mean you should be boring. It doesn't mean you should be shabby. It doesn't mean you should be dumb, ugly, smelling, or ignorant. You need to know what is happening around you. Listen, the only thing that is permanent in life is change. And for you to continue being relevant in the life of your partner or in the life of your spouse, you need to keep abreast with the change that is happening both around your partner or spouse and in your society, so that you'll be relevant. Once you lose your relevance, the other person is on their way out. Because when the knowledge gap or the exposure gap between you and the other person widens, a time will come when you can't sit and reason together. A time will come when you will be like people at the Tower of Babel, when you don't understand each other again. And when that happens, someone will have to check out. It's like a university graduate marrying a secondary school certificate holder. If the lady doesn't improve, go to school or do a part-time or whatever, and the gentleman continues from BSc to masters, from masters to PhD, a time will come so you have to know what is happening in your environment. You have to be social. That doesn't mean you wear rags. That doesn't mean every new thing they brought, they dump on your lap and you take hook, line, and sinker. No. It means you know what is happening around you, enough to know the one that is worthy of emulating or worthy of adoption. So that communication-wise, you are not ignorant. You are able to communicate in that area. Appearance-wise, you are able to step up so that your man or your woman will not be looking at somebody in the office, somebody in church, because you have refused to grow. I was looking at some things online and I discovered that there are so many things we do in the name of fashion that is not even it at all. For men, I discovered that in wearing suit, if your suit is such that has a single button, your button should always be knotted. Except when you want to sit. You loosen the button at the point of sitting. Once you stand up again, you fix it. If your button is double, the one on top is knotted, you loosen the one down. If your button is triple, the one in the middle compulsorily must be knotted. The one on top is optional. You might decide to knot it or leave it. The one down compulsorily must be loosened. You only loosen your suit when you want to sit. Once you are on your feet, you knot it back. Another thing I discovered is that when you are purchasing jackets and suits, they often advise, I went to askmen.com, they often advise that you opt for colors that are neutral or solid colors so that you would not be limited in what it can be matched with, to avoid color riots. I learned that ties the widest place of your thigh should not be more than 3 to 3.5 inches. And that widest place should rest on the uppermost part of your belt, such that the pointed end will be at the middle of the belt. So all this accord, that the thigh is here, the thigh is here, the thighs go to hell, you are not dressing. It's not accord. And I also learned that bow tie is not more formal than necktie. Bow tie was opted for evening events to prevent necktie from entering soup bowls and from catching candle fires. So it's not as if it is more formal. Tie is tie. I learned that when you are dressed in suit, the color of your belt must match the color of your shoe. Not black belt, brown shoe. Not brown belt, black shoe. I learned that there are 3 types of socks. Low-cut socks, mid-calf socks or ankle dress socks, and knee-length socks. And I learned that low-cut socks is only for sports, not for normal shoes. I learned that your socks is not supposed to match your tie. Your socks is supposed to complement your trouser. And I learned that your tie, the design on your tie is not supposed to be the same with the design on your shirt. It's supposed to be different. So, start judging your fashion. Start judging your fashion by yourself. Many times, our men go to our ladies or other ladies and get a no, and they think that it's something big, it's something in their character, it's something in their... Many times, the reason for the no is physical. It's just that those ladies will not want to tell you so that you will not feel that they are carnal. They will size you up and they will just conclude that I'm not proud enough to show this one off as my man or as my woman. So it is not God that is delaying our progress into relationships and marriages. It is not God that is allowing the devil to break our hearts. It's our lack of dress sense, good dress sense, that is breaking our heart. So I said your tie pattern should contract your shirt. Also, keeping of hair. If you want to keep grown hair or full hair, I think people call it afro, keep it well. Don't keep it and look like the one they just released from Yaba. There is no day I look at the picture of Samsung behind this album that I don't trip for that hair. That is how to keep afro. Well groomed, well trimmed, well combed. If you want to keep beard, do the same. Keep your comb in your pocket. Not that I combed it in the morning before I left the house. You know it is fully grown. Your combing in the morning will not last you through the day. Keeping full hair is hard work. If you know you are not ready to pay the price, cut it. It's better to keep a low cut and look good and decent than keep all those full hair that looks like you are carrying a forest reserve around the compound. And ladies, there is nothing like color blocking. Dress decently. There are primary colors, there are secondary colors. And if you Google it, they will show you colors that complement one another. If you are not using the specific color, then you stick with black or I think nude. Apart from that, any other thing is not color blocking, you are color rioting. In the name of color blocking, some people will look like they are doing rag day. Understand moderacy in the area of makeup. Don't look like a fine art specimen. See, forever, men will always look at the outward appearance. No matter how good your character is, before they get close enough to discover that character, they will first get to see and like what they see before they get close. Present yourself in a way that will be likable, not in a way that will be laughed at.